Hello to everybody. Welcome to our channel once again. Today, a heartbreaking tale explores the negative aspects of human emotions, including rejection, resentment, and revenge. We'll go deeply into the horrifying accurate account of Ryan Poston's murder. Therefore, watch the entire episode since this story will astound you. Before we start, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more intriguing content like this. Now, let's get going. In Kentucky, Ryan Poston, born on December 30th, 1982, had an incredible bond with his father and cherished his relationships with his three younger sisters, Allison, Catherine, and Elizabeth. Despite the possibility of being half-sisters due to their mother's second marriage, they were incredibly close. During the early stages of Ryan's life, he had the unique experience of attending schools in various countries, including Kentucky, the Philippines, and Switzerland. After completing his college education, Ryan decided to pursue a career in law with a noble purpose in mind. He wanted to assist those who couldn't afford legal representation. In 2011, a significant turning point occurred in Ryan's life when he crossed paths with Shaina Hubers. It all began when he stumbled upon her spring break photos on Facebook, sparking the beginning of their communication. As fate will have it, they soon developed a romantic connection and officially began dating on Shaina's birthday in April of that year. However, their relationship was far from smooth sailing, as it encountered its fair share of challenges and fluctuations. According to Shaina's account, Ryan displayed traits of being critical and harboring anger towards her, occasionally leading to instances of physical aggression. Nevertheless, it's important to note that others who knew Ryan had a vastly different perspective on his demeanor. They adamantly contested Shaina's claims, asserting that Ryan was not violent, even during frustration or anger. She went to tremendous pains to keep him at her side out of shame, even doing the housework and cooking for him. The reality was that Shaina had become unhealthy and fixated on Ryan, and this obsession eventually made Ryan think about calling it quits with her. She stubbornly denied acknowledging their relationship's demise, regardless of how hard he tried. She begged him to stay multiple times, her eyes flowing with tears as she made promises of improvement. Shaina's obsession reached dangerous heights, leading her to physically and digitally stalking Ryan. He constantly received texts, voicemails, and unexpected encounters at his job or favorite hangouts from her. Later that same night, around 3 a.m., Ryan initiated another breakup with Shaina, leaving her in tears, overwhelmed with emotions. Ryan started dating again, and on October 12th, he was going on a date with Audrey Bolt, a former Miss Ohio who had also placed second in the Miss America competition. It was interesting to note that they had connected over Facebook, just like they had done with Shaina. One of Ryan's close companions thought they would make a beautiful match. She had doubts about Shaina from the beginning and encouraged Ryan to try out a connection with Audrey rather. However, Ryan did not show up on the evening of their first date. She had no idea about Ryan's absence. We'll begin with the crime scene. Shaina described Ryan's purported assault on her to a police officer, claiming that he tossed her into the furniture like the bookcase, television, and sofa.
Campbell County 911.
Ma'am, I killed my boyfriend in self-defense.
What did you kill him with?
A loaded gun in the house.
Tell me where the gun is right now.
The gun is in the house. I laid it on the bookshelf.
Where are you?
I'm standing about 10 feet from his dead body.
Okay, are you sure that he is dead?
He's dead, ma'am. He's completely dead.
Okay. And how long ago did you shoot him?
I don't know, 10 or 15 minutes, not even that long.
10 or 15 minutes ago?
Yeah.
Okay, what's your name?
My name is Shaina Michelle Huber.
The officers are going to want me to stay on the line with you, so when they get there, they're going to want to know where that gun is, and we want you to get out safely too, okay?
Okay, are they going to arrest me?
Ma'am, I don't know what they'll do. We're going to send them out. I'm going to stay on the line with you, okay?
I mean, I'm not a murderer, ma'am. I just killed him.
What happened exactly? What happened?
He beat me and tried to carry me out of the house, and I came back in to get my things, and he was right in front of me, and he reached down and grabbed the gun, and I grabbed it out of his hand and pulled the trigger.
However, when the cops searched for the room where the event is said to have taken place, they discovered no evidence of a fight. There were no signs that Shaina had been tossed around or assaulted. even though the house was in disorder. Even the TV's dust proved that nothing had lately bumped into it. Shaina asserted that she had wounds from the alleged attack, but they didn't appear as severe or visible as she had described. Her account of how she acquired the gun changed over time. Initially, she said Ryan had grabbed the gun first, but later she claimed that she was the one who picked it up from the dining table. Shaina asked for a lawyer but was permitted to depart without further questioning. Nevertheless, carried on speaking and ultimately fired 6 gunshots. Shaina behaved strangely when being questioned, blaming herself and others and making herself seem to be the victim. She also cracked jokes about going to jail and showering publicly while making fun of the serious matter. She behaved strangely and weirdly in the interrogation room, both verbally and physically. She voiced worries about her chances of getting married and how the public will view her following her lover's passing. Shaina doesn't appear to regret on what she did to Ryan.
I did. Yeah, I did. That's a good question. If I had to go to jail, can you shower there? I have to shower in front of people? Oh, oh my god! Idea. He's very vain and wants to get a nose job, and I shot him right here. I gave him his nose job he wanted.
She was charged with murder after being taken into custody that evening due to her actions. Shaina was detained pending trial because she could not pay her $1.5 million bond. After her arrest, Shaina remained incarcerated in Campbell County Jail for 2.5 years until her first trial commenced. On January 26, 2013, she entered a plea of not guilty. Despite maintaining her innocence, investigators presented substantial evidence that refuted her claim of killing her boyfriend in self-defense. Numerous witnesses described Shaina's obsessive and relentless behavior towards Ryan during the trial. In March 2012, he requested Shaina to stop texting him. However, a month later, he reached out to her again, expressing his inability to handle her constant presence. In April 2012, he asked his cousin to come over and assist in removing Shaina from his place because she refused to leave. The defense argued that Ryan had never been felt violent towards Shaina, even when she persistently pursued him. Nevertheless, just days before the murder, Shaina sent a text suggesting she wanted to shoot Ryan at a shooting range and make it look like an accident. Given this message, her subsequent act of killing him with a gun appeared perplexing and contradictory. During the trial, Shaina's defense team tried to depict Ryan as capable of physical and emotional abuse. They presented Facebook posts in 2012 where Ryan mentioned wanting to rig explosives to everything he saw. However, their efforts were futile as there was no evidence to suggest that Ryan had expressed anger or violent tendencies towards Shaina. A crucial aspect of the prosecution's case was the forensic evidence, highlighting Shaina's intent to approach Ryan's body with each successive shot she fired. According to the forensic analysis, Ryan would have fallen to the floor after the second shot, incapacitated. However, Shaina continued to shoot him multiple times. She claimed that she knew Ryan would die, so she continued shooting to ensure he wouldn't twitch or make any distressing sounds. According to evidence from a forensic specialist from New Jersey, Ryan was still breathing when the last shot was fired. The bullet's direction revealed Shaina was the one who assaulted him. According to the expert, there may have been a chance to save Ryan's life, and he might still be here today if Shaina had only shot him at least once and phoned for aid immediately. The trial ended on April 23, 2015, and the jury quickly returned a decision declaring Shaina Huber guilty of killing Ryan Poston. As the jury's suggestion, the judge condemned her to 40 years in jail, with no prospect of release until she completed a minimum of 34 years. In delivering the punishment, the judge called attention to an important finding. Shaina did not express any regret or apologize to Ryan's family in any way during the trial or even during her petition for a light sentence.
Looking back on it, I feel like I was led on. I feel like I was manipulated, used, and abused.
Just once to hear the words, I shouldn't have done that.
But I listened to everything that was said in here. I never heard a word or a look that said, I'm sorry. to these people back here.
Given this lack of remorse, Ryan's family was nonetheless able to accept the case's verdict and find some solace. They will never get over the grief of losing Ryan in such a terrible way. The first trial was deemed a mistrial, and a second trial commenced. Eventually, Shaina was once again convicted of murder during the second trial. The proceedings lasted for 16 days, similar to the first trial, and the jury's decision came swiftly, taking only a few hours to reach a verdict. This time, the outcome was a life sentence, condemning her to spend the rest of her days behind bars. Once more, there was a sense of relief for Ryan's family, knowing that justice has been served. However, it's essential to acknowledge that no jail time or legal retribution could ever bring Ryan back or fully heal the wounds they endured throughout this process. Despite Shaina receiving a longer sentence, it's impossible to put into words the immense pain and anguish this retrial caused for their family. Having to relive Ryan's murder again after believing that he had moved past it, it was indeed a harrowing and devastating experience. The scars of such a tragedy are deep and lasting, and their hearts will forever bear the burden of the loss they suffered. Thanks for watching. Until next time, stay safe and never stop seeking the truth.